can start.
Okay, Tasnia, you may start first.
Yes. I'm ready.
Greetings, everyone. Before we begin, we seek permission to record the session. Welcome to the very first session of Poetry Appreciation. Given that we have participants from 11 different countries, the event is aptly named as Poetry Beyond Borders, in love with verses. How true! Who will not fall in love with verses, with poetry? For it can tell a story, enact a drama, convey ideas, offer vivid and unique description of our feelings, and open us up to new ideas.
Absolutely. Also, reading poetry stretches our mind and forces us to think. We truly have to concentrate on every word and detect the meaning, because most words have multiple meanings that the poet intended. It is like a puzzle, and who doesn't love puzzles? Which is why we decided to organize this event to understand poetry, to detect the meaning, and to love poetry. The next hour or so, you'll be listening to some amazing verses in English, for that's the most understood language, but also the national language of the participating country. Yes, you will hear poetry in Russian, Chinese, Malay, and Bangla. You guessed it right. The participants today represent Taiwan, Malaysia, Russia, Myanmar, and Bangladesh.
Before we commence, we introduce you to our keynote speaker, Gogo Moneta, EFL teacher, a poetry enthusiast, an avid reader. Gogo Moneta believes that poetry is like a love letter that leaves an impression which lingers in your ear forever. For more on poetry, her own love for it, and how we can develop an appreciation for it, over to ma'am.
Hello again. Let me share my screen first. I hope you can see it. It takes some time for the presentation to load. So as Tasnia has already introduced about me, I'm Georgia. My friends call me Gogo. I'm Georgia from Greece. I'm an EFL teacher in a state primary school in Greece. And I love reading literature, poetry, and drama. So today I was invited by my friend Atik, and I would like to thank him for the invitation to talk to you about poetry. Well, I don't consider myself an expert on it. So I had to do some research, and then I realized that I knew some things myself also. So let's see. Again, this is me, an EFL teacher and the level of arts. And let's learn a few facts about poetry. So poetry is the oldest form of language, and it was there for people long before the written language. And why was that? Because in order for people to retain, let's say, historical facts and events, they used to sing them. And in order for them to be short and memorable, they should be in the form of a poem, not in a form of story, a long story. So as far as people came on earth, poetry was the first thing that was there for them to remember situations. Aristotle, a very influential Greek philosopher and intellectual, I'm proud to say that, classified poetry into 3 genres: epic, comic, and tragic. His classification influenced the Western civilization later on. However, other institutions classified poetry into epic again, lyric, and dramatic. Dramatic meant the two types of comic and tragic. So they found another type of poetry, lyric. I would say, for example, that an epic poem would be Homer's Odyssey and Homer's Iliad, who were very long epics about historical, actually mythological events back in the past. Nowadays, there are various types of poetry. I'm sure you have read, you have all read a haiku, which is an ancient Japanese form of poetry of 3 lines. And free verse, it's the most common one, and it can be written by anyone. A sonnet, which comes from the Italian word sonetto, it's a little song, and it's usually a romantic song. Actually, sonnet became famous by the famous Shakespeare. However, it still existed in Italy back in the 13th century. Acrostic, a fun and playful way of making a poem. You just take a word vertically and you write lines so that the lines form the word. Villanelle, a French type, quite difficult, not very long. A limerick, which is a very funny poem, sometimes satiric, sometimes rude. An ode, which is a poem of praise. An elegy. These are long poems, sorry about my typo there, about death usually. And however, although it may sound terrifying and, really sad, elegy was a way of people to express their feelings and to feel better. And of course, we have the ballad, which are emotional stories, songs about love, and which are really very popular today. I have also put my sources here, so later I will share my presentation in the chat for whoever is interested in it. So, why should we read poetry? Well, because poetry is play. You can always read a poem a way you want it the first time, and the next time you can read it in another way, and the next time you may discuss it with your friends and think what the poet wants to talk about and what his or her feelings are. Because poetry is music in language. Whenever you hear a poem, you know that you're actually listening to a song, but without music. Still, it is music. It teaches us patience. A poem is not always a very easy thing to write. Poets need to carefully select the word that will convey their feeling, that will convey the meaning they want to give to a specific feeling. So they have to be hardworking and patient. The right word will definitely come to mind. It just may take some time. It helps us remember. As I told you, poetry is the oldest form of language. Why? Because in this way, people could remember historical facts. So here it is. It helps us find our inner voice. As soon as you read a poem, tell me, how many of you haven't you wondered, oh yes, I think this poem speaks in my heart. Exactly, I feel like this poet right now. So poetry is there for you to realize your feelings, to realize your sentiments. It lets us positively share our feelings. You admit that you are sad, you admit that you are happy, you admit that you're upset, and you feel better because a poem was there for you to express yourself. It is exploration. There are not only modern poems, There are also ancient poems.
我现在在
And
在
while
用慢性
reading
名，但是
them,
就不能用。
and while reading them, you can explore the life in the past, about knights, let's say, and princes and kings and princesses. This is exploration. This is another way of learning. This is my source again. And now, I told you a lot of things about poetry. Poetry for me. Okay, I was taught poetry back in university, and I still like to read poetry. However, when I was a little kid, long time ago, I used to watch a TV commercial. The TV commercial was about whiskey. I never drank whiskey, especially in the past. However, that TV commercial used a poem, and I would like to recite it for you now. And I still remember this poem. And this poem was the one that made me love poetry. The poem was written by the famous Scottish poet Robert Burns. Oh, my loves, like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my loves, like the melody that sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lass, so deep in love am I. And I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gone dry. Till all the seas gone dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun. I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of life shall run. And fare thee well, my only love, and fare thee well a while. And I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 miles. So do read poetry, enjoy poetry, explore poetry, feel poetry, because poetry is a form of art, and art can only benefit people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. And so we begin. Let me give me the names for group 1. From Taiwan, we have student Yi Ching Chen and Min Jen Deng. They are going to recite in their native language. Please welcome.
Hello, everyone, and thanks, Georgia, Maniskia. It's just like feeling I take the train to my undergraduate student because I study in National Taiwan University Department Store and Literature. You recite those points are my undergraduate points. Thank you. You look very young, and let me just like kids. Back to the time machine. And thank you. These beautiful songs like Iliad and Odyssey, all back to my good memories. And I love poetry. It's just like a very beautiful song. And today it's my pleasure and honor to invite my 5 students. Maybe their English is not so well, but I encourage them, even your English is not so good, but you can appreciate every country's beautiful mother tongue and enjoy the beauty of the poem. I think it is the why we call it poetry appreciation and no boundaries of the every country's beautiful languages. Okay, let me share our point and I will invite every country's students and teachers to enjoy our students' appreciation. Thank you. Okay, are you ready, girls? Okay, today we will introduce that. Hello, I'm Chen Hui Yu, and my nickname is For You, and I will from Taiwan University. I'm from Chongqing Junior High School, and I'm English teacher in New Taipei City, Taiwan. And I would like to share that these are our today's presenters. 2 are English presenter, and the 2 are from Taiwanese presenter, and 1 boy, he will present Hakka French language. Okay, let me introduce our English point team. English presenter is Pei Ying Chen. Pei Ying Chen, like, please say your hi. And he will recite Emily Dickin's poems, I many times thought peace had come. And another one is Jia Qi Wu. Hello, please, Jia Qi Wu, say hi to everyone. And she will recite, I'm nobody, who are you? Okay, let's introduce my students, Pei In Ching. Pei In Ching, are you ready? Let's go.
Emily Dickinson. I many times thought peace had come. In this poem, the peace she speaks about is her love finally coming home and staying. This is a short two-stanza poem with only 4 lines in each perfectly. The fourth and third lines are written in 8 syllables, while the second and fourth lines are written in lengthy meter and rhyme. I many times thought peace had come, by Emily Dickinson. I many times thought peace had come, when peace was far away, as wrecked men dim beside the land, when far at sea they stay, in struggles like her, but to prove, as hopelessly as I, that many the fictitious shores before the harbor lie.
Okay, next one, presenter Jia Qi Wu. Jia Qi, are you ready? Jia Qi, okay.
I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then let's a pair of us. Don't tell. Let us say you
Advertise.
every time you. How dare it to be somebody? How public, like a first, to tell one's name, the living long.
Okay, let me introduce that the maps of ethnic language use in Taiwanese families, including Taiwan and Hakka. Blues is our Mandarins, and the pink shows that the Hakka distribution. And for Taiwanese, we are from historical and the political background factors. That's why we talk about that most of the Han Chinese. But now it's our revolution now. We encourage every student, every people can speak our mother tongue. Okay, let's introduce our Taiwanese presenter, Yiqing Chen and Ming Zhen Den. Okay, are you ready? Yiqing?
Yes, I'm ready.
Hello?
Hmm?
Just introduce yourself first. Hello?
Hello, my name is Yiqing Chen. I will recite Taiwanese poem to Moon.
Moon Taboo. Okay,
Moon
let's start.
Taboo. 月娘月娘月阿姨，请你千万莫生气，是我无小心用手指，毋通惊倒挂我双边耳。
Okay.
Taiwanese poem don't point to the moon. Taboo. You can't use your finger to the moon because you don't respect it. Children will be cut off their ears.
Okay, it's called Taiwanese onomatopoeia. Okay, and the replication. Chinese don't have such onomatopoeia. Sorry, it's hard to pronounce. But Taiwanese have many. So that's why we choose this very funny and very popular in Taiwan, Moon Taboo. It also shows the lively, vividity, and the cuteness of Taiwanese. This Taiwanese point just shows another point, the sound of the drops down the trend. Okay, it's very, very fun. Let's enjoy. Okay, are you ready? Let's welcome Taiwanese another point presenter, Mingzhen Deng. Hi, Mingzhen. Let's say
Hi.
hello.
Hi, hello.
My name?
My name is Mingzhen Deng. 直接念吗？
对。
哦。回家伊着阿嬷伊着伫爱要磅空来，磅空来，磅空会水伊着当丢丢当当，爱要磅空来，磅空来。水伊阿嬷伊着滴啊，伊着滴落来，
伊就滴落来。
伊就滴落来。
Okay, thank you. So let's welcome our Hakka Point presenter, Jing Yi Shi, Song of the White Cloud. Let's welcome. Hello, Jing Yi.
Hello. My name is Jingyi Xu, and I'm Hakka presenter. I will recite Hakka poem, Song of the White Cloud by Liao Liang. 黑云黑天上嘅流浪仔，長長嘅長長嘅，飛過天涯，飛過河巴，飛過清秀嘅山崗，飛過河之名，狀態嘅故鄉。城市嘅人啊，請人腦內講，聽到乜嘅，聽到乜嘅，係唔係聽到一群後生人，體會自由歌唱。The author is a victim of white horror, expressing a desire for freedom, just like a white cloud in the sky, desire for freedom. To memorize the peace and freedom, White Terror during 1949, May 20 to 1990, May 18th. Now Taiwan is the democratic country and people can enjoy the freedom. Wait.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is end of the presentation of Taiwan team. Hope you will enjoy your Taiwanese and Hakka poems.
Thank you.
Wow, wonderful presentation. Thank you, presenters from Taiwan. And now let us move on to Malaysia. Let me call Azalia Erika binti Rosli. She will be reciting in their native language, which is Bahasa Melayu.
Hi everyone, I'm teacher Nirmala Devi Kandasamy, an educator from Malaysia. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Atikur Rahman for this great arrangement. And without further ado, let me welcome my students, Azalia Erika and also Freda Ashley Lajot. So first of all, welcome. Over to you, Azalia. Let me share screen. Okay. Azalia, are you ready?
Yes. Hi, Miss Azalia Erika binti Rasli from SK St. Patrick, Taiwan, Malaysia. I'm 12 years old. My hobbies are dancing, singing, swimming, and cooking. This is a biodata about Osman Awang. Wan Awang, also known by his pen name, Usman Awang, was a Malaysian poet, playwright, novelist, and a Malaysian national laureate. Wan Osman was born into a poor peasant family. He graduated from 6th grade of his local Malay school. After the war, he joined the police force and served in Johor and Malacca between the years of 1946 to 1951. 1951, he moved to Singapore, where he initially worked as a proofreader and then as a reporter for the newspaper Melayu Raya. He later joined the weekly Mingguan Melayu in 1952, its daily counterpart, Putusan Melayu, began publishing his first poems and stories on both these newspapers. After Malaya's independence in 1957, he lived in Kuala Lumpur and worked in the National Language Regulatory Board, the Dewan Bahasa and Pustaka, until 1985. Usman Awang died of a heart attack on 29 November 2001 in Kuala Lumpur. He was laid to rest at Bukit Kiara Muslim Cemetery, Kuala Lumpur. He was 72 years old. This poem records a sense of gratitude to a departed loved ones. It is not just a journey to the grave, but a journey back in time to recall a mother's nurturing love. Ke makam Bonda means going to the mother's graveyard. Kami mengunjungi pusara Bonda, sunyi pagi disinari surya. Wangi berseri puspa Kamboja, menyambut kami mewakili Bonda. Tegak kami di makam sepi, lalang-lalang tinggi berdiri. Dua nisan terkapar mati, hanya papan dimakan bumi. Dalam kenangan kami melihat, mesra Bonda menatap. Sedang lena dalam rahap, dua tangan kaku berdakap. Bibir Bonda bersih-lesu, pernah dulu mengucupi dahi. Kini kurasakan kasihnya lagi, meski jauh dipatasi bumi. Nisan batu kami tegakkan, tiada lagi lalang memanjang. Ada doa kami pohonkan, air mawar kami siramkan. Senyum Kamboja menghantar kami, meninggalkan makam sepi sendiri. Damailah Bonda dalam pengabadian, insan kerdil menghadap Tuhan. Begitu bakti kami berikan, tiada sama Bonda melahirkan. Kasih Bonda tiada sempadan, kemuncak murni kemuliaan insan. That's all from me. Thank you.
Welcome, Frida.
Yes.
Frida, you may start.
Good day to the teachers, students, and everyone in this meeting. My name is Ashley Arlajot, and I am from SK St. Patrick. My hobbies are reading, watching videos, movies, and playing instruments. Today I'm going to recite a poem from Robert Frost entitled The Road Not Taken. Here's a short introduction of the poet. Robert Lee Frost is an American poet. His work was initially published in England before it was published in the United States. Mr. Robert Frost was born on March 26, 1974, and departed this life on January 29, 1960. One of his famous poems include The Gift Outright, Acquainted with the Night, Home Burial, and The Road Not Taken. The roads to Yellow Wood. And sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bends in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was passy and wanted, though far at the passing there, had worn them really about the same.
Smoke that peacefully lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted how way leads on to way. I doubted if I could share ever come back. I shall be telling this high somewhere ages and ages hence. To word in a wood, and I took one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The main theme of the poem, The Road Not Taken, is that human beings are confronted with and defined by the choices they make. The main idea of the poem is that the speaker is confronted with this fork in the road and must make a choice as which road to take. The lesson that one can learn from Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken is listen to yourself. The traveler is non-conformist who claims that he has done the right thing by taking the road less traveled by. Thus, the poem inspires and encourages its readers to be unconventional. Thank you for listening. I hope you all enjoyed my presentation.
Thank you very much, Frida and Azalia, for the wonderful, incredible presentation. Thank you very much to Mr. Atikur Rahman for this great opportunity for my students. Over to you, moderator.
Okay, thank you, Azalia and Frida. Usman Awang's poem now fails to impress all of us. Now let us move on to Russia. Students from Russia will be reciting in their Russian language. Please welcome.
Nadezhda, you are muted. Excuse me. So yes. So dear friends, we are honored to present poetry at this competition for the first time in our lives in this group, and we are from Krasnoyarsk, Russia. So Maxim Bratuhin from grade 6 will present a verse from the famous Russian poet. Max, I give the floor to you. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Max. I'm from Krasnoyarsk, Russia. I would like to tell you about Alexander Pushkin.
Максим, louder, громче. Микрофон ближе.
Чудесный, еще ты дремлешь, друг прелестный. Пора, красавица, проснись. Открой сомкнутый негой взоры. Навстречу северной авроры, звездой севера явись. И черт, ты помнишь, вьюга злилась, на мутном небе мгла носилась. Луна, как бледное пятно, сквозь тучи мрачные желтела, и ты печальная сидела. А нынче погляди в окно, под голубыми небесами, великолепными коврами, блестя на солнце снег лежит, прозрачный лес один чернеет, и ель сквозь синий зеленеет, и речка подо льдом блестит. Вся комната янтарным блеском озарена, веселым треском трещит затопленная печь. Приятно думать у лежанки, но знаешь, не влит ли в санки кобылку бурую запречь? Скользя по утреннему снегу, друг милый, предадимся бегу нетерпеливого коня и навестим поля пустые, леса недавно столь густые и берег милый для меня.
Thank you, Max. Maxim, please introduce the famous Russian poet. Say a few words about Pushkin. Alexander Pushkin, a great Russian poet.
Alexander Pushkin was a great Russian poet, writer, playwright, publicist, and critic. He was born May of 26 and 17 and 99 in Moscow. He devoted his whole life to creativity. On February 8, 1837, he fought with pistols in a duel with dentists. He was found and died on February 10, 1837, at the age of 37.
So Alexander Pushkin is considered to be the founder of the Russian language, a great poet. And here comes another student from Russia, Daniil Zhukov. He is in grade 6. So Daniil, please introduce your poet.
Hello, I am Daniil Zhukov from Russia, grade 6. I would like to tell you about Evgeny Evtushenko. Evgeny Evtushenko, Russian poet, born July 18, 1962, died April 1st, 2017.
Evtushenko give a short brief biography, brief from the screen.
He was a famous Russian poet, novelist, director, secretary, public, and actor. He was awarded honorary title and award both in the US and in the world. In 1963, the poet was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Literature. Evgeny Evtushenko was an honorary member of the American Academy of Arts and the Academy of Fine Arts in Malaga. In 1990, Evgeny Evtushenko moved to the USA. In 1994, a mineral planet of the solar system was named after the poet discovered on. Evgeny Evtushenko died on April 1, 2017 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the USA at the age of 86. Людей неинтересных в мире нет. Евгений Евтушенко. Людей неинтересных в мире нет. Их судьбы, как история планет. У каждой все особое, свое, и нет планет, похожих на нее. А если кто-то незаметно жил и с этой незаметностью дружил, он интересен был среди людей самой неинтересностью своей. У каждого свой тайный личный мир. Есть в этом мире самый лучший миг. Есть в этом мире самый страшный час. Но все это неведомо для нас. И если умирает человек, и умирает первый его снег, и первый поцелуй, и первый бой, все это забирает он с собой. Да, остаются книги и мосты, машины и художников холсты. Да, многому остаться суждено, но что-то ведь уходит все равно. Такой закон безжалостной игры. Не люди умирают, а миры. Людей мы помним, грешных и земных. А что мы знали в сущности о них? Все знаем мы про братьев, про друзей, все знаем о единственной своей. И про отца родного своего мы, зная все, не знаем ничего. Уходят люди, их не возвратить, их тайные миры не возродить. Так и каждый раз мне хочется опять от этой невозвратности кричать.
Thank you, Daniil. And here comes, the final student in my group. She will recite the poem in English. She is Daria from grade 7, Dasha Zinovkina. Dasha, I give you the floor, please.
Hello, I'm Dasha.
Introduce your.
I'm Dasha Zinovkina from Russia, Krasnoyarsk. I would like to tell you about Robert Burns. Robert Burns was born on 25 January 1758, he is credited as the national poet of Scotland and is he best known Scots languages poet till date. Burns is also considered to be the pioneer of the Romantic movement. Robert Burns grew up in poverty. They had physical labor on the father's farm lent to a weakened health. He had little opportunity to attend school regularly and recite most of his education from his father. In 1774, Robert Burns was inspired by Nearly District in his first attempt at poetry. Robert Burns died on 21 July 1786 in Dumfries at the age of 37. On 25 January every year, Burns Night. It's celebrated with Burns suppers around the world. My Heart in the Highland by Robert Burns. My heart in the Highlands, my heart is not here. My heart in the Highlands, a chasing the deer, a chasing the wild deer, and follow the roe. My heart in the Highlands, wherever I go. Wherever to Highlands, wherever to North, the birthplace of valor, the country of worth. Wherever I wanted, wherever I roam, where the hills on the Highlands, forever I love. Forever to mountains, huge covered with snow, forever to strays and green valleys below, forever to forests and wild-handed woods, forever to the torrents and loud pouring floods. My heart's in the Highland, my heart is not here. My heart in the Highlands, a chasing the deer, a chasing the wild deer and follow the roe. My heart's in the Highlands, wherever I go.
Thank you. That is all on Russia's part. Thank you for watching us. Thank you. I stop sharing the screen.
What an amazing presentation. Thank you, students in Russia. I'll always admire Russian language, even though I don't understand the language, but I just like to listen to the language. Okay, now let us invite students from Myanmar. We have student Sean Lei Min in the native language and Zai Awan Lan in English language.
Hello everyone. My name is Sean Latmin and good evening from Myanmar. But our educators unfortunately our educators has an internet connection error, so she can join this meeting. So sorry for it, guys. So let me introduce myself. My name is Sean Latmin. I am from Right Place Education, which is formed by our beloved teacher Min Pei. So today I will be like a poet, and our native language poem in Burmese, which is written by me, originally by me. So yeah, the title will be like Mapyodo Gangin and Mapyodo Jail, which is mean unbroken sky and an unfallen star. So the summary of the poem is about a girl who's trying to settle things with her love life, but her love doesn't support and never give her compliments. So however she's trying to understand him, like she always pushes away. So unless like she doesn't want to love him anymore or adore him, or like because like she's tired of trying to like understand him. So the poet is about the girl represent to the unbroken sky and the boy represent the unfalling sky. So please enjoy, my friends. So let me share my screen first. Okay. So yeah, so sorry for my handwriting because the poem is originally my so မပြောတော့ကောင်းကင်မပြောတော့ကျင် yes ကျမတို့မင်းနေကြတာမုံတိုင်းဆိုတာဟာလေပြေကနေအရင်စတာပဲတကယ်ဆိုကျမလေပြေတွေကိုမုန်းခဲ့တင်ပေမဲ့သစုံတရားရဲ့ဘယ်တော့မှလက်မလျှော့တမ်းစူးစမ်းတဲ့ကျမလေပြေတွေကိုတောင်းတရင်မမျော်လင့်တဲ့အချိန်မမျော်လင့်တဲ့အချိန်တွေမျိုးမှာမမျော်လင့်ပဲတည်ဆုံးသွားစေတယ်နာကျင်မှုတွေကိုစူးစမ်းလိုက်တိုင်းနာကျင်မှုတွေကိုခံစားရနာကျင်မှုတွေပေးမိလိုက်တဲ့တန်ရာတွေဟာလည်းစနေမပြောစင်းနိုင်တော့ကောင်းကင်ထံပါမထာဝရမကြွေတော့တဲ့အစုဝေးများဖြင့်မဆုံးသောမျှော်လင့်စများနှိမ့်အပ်ခဲ့သည်နှလုံးသားရဲ့အနှံ့ဆိုင်ဆုံးနေရာတွေတည်ရှိစေ So this is my end of my poem. Like the last ending part of the poem is like the girl like can't love her love anymore, and then because I love that don't understand or like don't accept her love or and everything she gave. So the girl decided not to be together anymore, but she will be love her love till her last breath. And even her love can notice her anymore or like not care her anymore. So like she will always have hopes on her love and like so it's a very emotional and it's like very sad story. So yeah, so thank you for my attention and then yeah, thank you.
Okay, next we have Zai Awan Langley in English language. You may present now.
Good evening, all distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to recite the poem, the title, The Arrow and the Song. Henry Sweat Longfellow wrote this poem. The Arrow and the Song. I shot an arrow into the air. It sped toward I knew nowhere, for so swiftly it flew. The sight could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air. It sped toward I knew nowhere, for who has sight so keen and strong that its good can follow the flight of sound. Long afterward, in and out, I found the arrow stay and broke. And the sound from beginning to end, I found again in the heart of a friend. The poet want to give a message. If you give love to other, you will get bad love. You will get bad love. If you give hate to other, you will get bad hate. The thing you give will not disappear. You will get bad one day surely. Thank you for paying attention.
Thank you both of the students. I actually really like Soon Lei's handwriting. Was very unique and beautiful. Now let us move on to Bangladesh. From Bangladesh we have Tasneem Jahan Mim. She will be reciting in Bengali language. Please welcome.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to read a poem of Josimuddin named Asmani. আসমানিরে দেখতে যদি তোমরা সবে চাও, রহিমন্দির ছোট্ট বাড়ি রসুলপুরে যাও। বাড়ি তো নয় পাখির বাসা ভেন্না পাতার ছানি, একটুখানি বৃষ্টি হলেই গড়িয়ে পড়ে পানি, একটুখানি বৃষ্টি হলেই গড়িয়ে পড়ে জল। তারই তলে আসমানিরা থাকে বছর ভরে, পেটটি ভরে পায় না খেতে বুকের কখান হাড়, সাক্ষী দেছে অনাহারে কদিন গেছে তার, মিষ্টি তাহার মুখটি হতে হাসির প্রদীপ রাশি, থাপড়েতে নিবিয়ে গেছে দারুণ অবাব হাসি, পরনে তার শতেক টালির শতেক ছেঁড়া বাস, সোনালি তার গার বরণের করছে উপহাস, ভোমর কালো চোখ দুটিতে নাই কৌতুক হাসি, সেখান দিয়ে গড়িয়ে পড়ে অশ্রু রাশি রাশি। বাঁশির মতো সুরটি গলায় ক্ষয় হলো তাই কেঁদে, হয়নি সুযোগ লয় যে সে সুর গানের সুরে বেঁধে। আসমানীদের বাড়ির ধারে পদ্মপুকুর ভরে, ব্যাঙের ছানা শ্যাওলা পানা কিল বিল বিল করে। ম্যালেরিয়ার মশক সেথা বিষ গুলেছে জলে, সেই জলেতে রান্না খাওয়া আসমানীদের চলে। পেটটি তাহার দুলছে পিলেই নিতুই যে জ্বর তার, বৈদ্য ডেকে ওষুধ করে পয়সা নাহি আর। খোসমানি আর আসমানি যে রয় দুইটি দেশে, কত জাদু কালে নেবে অধিক ভালোবেসে। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।
এখন তুমি ওই যে স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করো পোয়েট্রি কবি পরিস্থিতিটা স্ক্রিনশটটা একটু দেখায়, স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করে রাইট সাইডে বাইরে দেখাও তুমি স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করো।
Now we have Tasnia Rahman. She'll be reciting in English language.
Excuse me, just 1 minute, we want to share poetry about poetry. To follow now, huh? Okay. Name? To follow? Hello, name?
जी सर।
Right, to follow now.
Jasimuddin was born 1 January 1903 and died 13 March 1976. Popularly called Olli Kobi, was a Bengali Bangladeshi poet, lyrics composer and writer, widely celebrated for his modern ballad Sagas is the pastoral mode. His Nokshi Kathar Mat and Sujon Badhiar Ghat are considered among the best lyrical poems in the Bengali language. He is the key figure for the revival of pastoral literature in Bengal during the 20th century. A versatile writer, Jasimuddin wrote poems, ballads, songs, dramas, novels, stories, memories, travelogues, etc.
Okay, now let us move on to Tasnia Rahman. She'll be presenting in English language.
Hey, I'm Tasnia Rahman. I'm grade 9. I'm from Bangladesh. Now I'm starting to share my screen. Sheryl Sandberg biography. Cheryl August Sandberg was an American poet, biographer, journalist, and editor. He won 3 Pulitzer Prizes, 2 for his poetry and 1 for his biography of Abraham Lincoln. Born January 6, 1878, Galesburg, Illinois, United States. Died July 22, 1967, Flat Rock, North Carolina, United States. Awards: Pulitzer Prize for History, Pulitzer Prize for Poetry, more. Now, starting to sing my poem. I am the people, the mob, by Cheryl Sandberg. I am the people, the mob, the crowd, the mass. Do you know that all the great work of the world is done through me? I am the working man, the inventor, the maker of the world's food and clothes. I am the audience that witnesses history. The Napoleons come from me and the Lincolns. They die. And then I send forth more Napoleons and Lincolns. I am the seed ground. I'm a prairie that will stand for much plowing. Terrible storms pass over me. I forget. The best of me is shocked out and vested. I forget. Everything but death comes to me and makes me what and gives what I have. I forget. Sometimes I growl, shake myself and spitter a few red drops for history to remember. Then I forget. When I, the people, learn to remember. When I, the people, use the lessons of yesterday, who played me for a fool, and then there will be no speaker in all the world say the name, the people, with any flake of a sinner in his voice, or any fur of smile of duration. The mob, the crowd, the mass will arrive then. Thank you.
Thank you, Tasnia and Tasnim. It was a wonderful presentation. Now I'd like to hand over the session to Tasnia.
Now the poem will be recited from Nepal. First, Diksha Shrestha will recite the poem in Nepali language. You can start your poem.
Namaste and good evening to beloved teachers and students. It's me, Diksha Shrestha from Nepal, schooling at Sri Shanti Namuna Model Secondary School at grade 10. Though today Purnima Gewali was supposed to deliver her poem instead of me, but due to some unexpected circumstances, she is unable to attend this poem recitation. Well, as a proxy, I'm here to deliver her poem. In this poem recitation, I'm going to recite my poem in Nepali. The topic of my poem is Siksha Rahar Rabadyata. The main theme of my poem is to impart knowledge to every children without any discrimination on the basis of gender, race, color, ability, disability, and so on. No matter from which community they belong to, which gender they possess, either boy or girl. They must have equal right and opportunity to gain education. So without any delay, I would like to recite my poem. शिक्षा रहर र बाध्यता शिक्षा भन्ने कस्तो नाम सुन्दै आनन्द आउने शिक्षाले नै सबैको जीवनमा उज्यालो ज्योति छाउने आँखा हो यो अन्धाहरूको लाटाको बुलन्द बोली आहिमदेखि यहाँसम्म ल्यायो भरौ हृदय खोली अधिकार छ सबैको शिक्षा आर्जन गर्ने त्यही शिक्षालाई आधार बनाई देशको निर्माण गर्ने तर हेर गरिबहरूको व्याथा भिन्न छ आर्थिक अवस्था लथालिङ्ग छ दुई छाक मिठो मसिनो खाना दाम कमाउनु छ पढाइमा मेहनत गरी नाम कमाउनु छ पछि पर्नुको कारण अशिक्षा ठम्याएका उनीहरू बिहान साँझ काम गरेर पढ्छन् होटल र रेस्टुरेन्टमा भाडा माझेर पढ्छन् बाध्यताका कारण त्यसरी पढ्छन् उनीहरू अझ उता विकराल छ अवस्था सम्झदा अतालिन्छु म देख्दा भकालिन्छु म विद्यालय जाने उमेरमा गिटी कुटिरहेको देखेर होटल र रेस्टुरेन्टमा भाडा माझिरहेको देखेर गाडीहरूको ढोका ढकढकाउँदै हिँडिरहेको देखेर बर्बरी आँसु खसाल्दै भन्न मन लाग्छ ए सरकार उनीहरूको अभिभावक बनिदेऊ उनीहरूलाई पनि विद्यालय जाने व्यवस्था मिलाइदेऊ भएन यहाँ भानुको त्यो ज्योति जुन आएछ पन्छिएर निभ्यो दियो भयो सबै अन्धकार शिक्षाको ज्योतिले नै छाउन सक्छ यो संसारमा चमत्कार शिक्षाको ज्योतिले नै छाउन सक्छ यो संसारमा चमत्कार थ्यांक यू
Thank you, Dikshaya. At this stage, again from Nepal, Sarthak Bhattarai will recite poem in English. You can start your poem.
Namaste, I'm Sarthak Bhattarai. I'm from Nepal, and initially Prasamsa Pandey was supposed to be reciting this poem instead of me. However, I'm going to recite it instead. Without further ado, let's enter into the poem. Let's maintain peace. Yesterday, I woke up at midnight, sweating and full of fight. I couldn't believe whether it was my dream or the truth of life. A man was pulling my hair. A man was pulling my hair and bullying me. I cried for help with the people around me. They were watching me, being swayed as if I was a toy being played. No words, no hands came for support. No words, no hands came for support. No care, no love from the observers above. This is the truth I see every day at my home and family, where my father beats my mother, injures her physically and emotionally. We small children always thought we couldn't do anything. Just watch our mother being bullied. Just watch our mother being bullied and cry. Just cry and watch our mother crying till her eyes are dry. I wiped my sweat, took a long breath. I wiped my sweat and took a long breath. I took a vow that we will no longer bawl. I should stop abuse, at least at my home. We are humans, not just drones. No violence, no humiliation, no harassment in family, society, or the country. Let's all promise to maintain grace. Let all humans be equal and share happiness. No discrimination, no bullying, but only happiness. And smile, peace everyone. Thank you.
Who is the writer of this?
This poem was written by me, and thank you.
Thank you. We will now hear poetry recitations from India. First, Samadrita Roy will recite poem in her native language. Please, Samadrita, you can start.
May I have a minute to just introduce, to just correct? He is Shomadrito Roy, and it's he, and after that will be Ahi Roy. I'll just quickly would want to take a minute to thank Atikur sir for this wonderful platform that you have given to our students, sir. And a very special thanks to Nirmala ma'am also for informing us and including us in this program. So thank you very much, sir. This is a wonderful, wonderful platform. It's a real pleasure to hear everybody. And I just want to introduce before Shomadrito starts that our theme is basically the same, the theme of inclusiveness, accommodation, and including everyone despite diversity, moving from our country to the world. And Shomadrito in our native mother tongue, that is Bangla, he's going to talk about our country, Bharat Borsho or India, and the way India would include, accommodate everyone despite all cultural, religious, and linguistic diversities. And the same theme will be echoed in the English poem by Ahi Roy, who is to follow next. So that's what I had to say. And I would now welcome Shomadrito Roy from Funlish Language School, India. Yes, over to you, Shomadrito. Shomadrito, you may start now. Is there a problem? I can see Shomadrito's screen shared, but I am spotlighted. Can Shomadrito please be spotlighted? Shomadrito.
Hello?
You are audible. You can start, Shomadrito.
Okay. Bharat Borsho. Kavi Devesh Thakur. About Dr. Devesh Thakur. As dramatist, wrote about 95 plays, audio cassette, Bharat Borsho ebong Swadesh Amar, Ratnakor, directed telefilm Dongshan. He also performed in UK 18th October to 2nd November 2010 in London, Harrow, Liverpool, Manchester, etc. He also received many awards, such as the Special Literary Award by Publishers and Booksellers Guild for Novel Mon in Kolkata Book Fair 2005. Now, the poem. ভারতবর্ষ মানে কোনো আর্ট পেপারে আঁকা জল রঙের মানচিত্র নয়। ভারতবর্ষ মানে শুধু হর্ষবর্ধন কিংবা বাবরের বিজয় বার্তা নয়। ভারতবর্ষ মানে বিজয় সিংহের সিংহল জয়ের ফ্যাসিস্ট গৌরব গাথা নয়। ভারতবর্ষ মানে শুধু মীনাক্ষীপুরম কিংবা জামা মসজিদ নয়। ভারতবর্ষ মানে নেহেরুজির বংশানুবৃত্তি কিংবা জিন্না সাহেবের অলিখিত শ্বেতপত্র নয়। ভারতবর্ষ মানে এক ভালোবাসা, আমার, তোমার, শব্দের, সঙ্গীতের, জীবনের, আকাশের, মাটির। আমাদের প্রাইমারি স্কুলে কলু খাঁ সাহেব সাদা দাড়ি, মাথায় ফেজ ড্রিল করাতেন আমাদের। ডান বা, ডান বা, ডান বা। সস্নেহ সতর্ক করতেন, বাপা সকল পা আর হাত মিলিয়ে মিলিয়ে ফেলো, মিলিয়ে মিলিয়ে ফেলো, মিলিয়ে মিলিয়ে ফেলো। কলু খাঁ সাহেবের গোড়ের মাটিতে আজ ফেরেশতার হাসি ভারতবর্ষের চিরাগ হয়ে চলছে। বদরু মিয়ার হাতের কর্ণিকে শিব মন্দিরের গায়ে কত ফুল কাটা, আর তার জোগাড়ে হয়ে মশলা মাখছে ঈশান বাউরি। নিয়ামত শেখ আর গোকুল মাহাতো এক পাটাতনে ধান ঝাড়ে, সোনালী গোবিন্দ ভোগে খামারে ঠিকরে পড়ে সোনালি আলো। পদন মাঝি দাঁড় টানত যুবতী গঙ্গায়, বৈঠা ধরতো হোসেনুর মাঝি। সামলে চলো মাঝি, আসা খাকির গান, সোরাবালির স্বর আর ঘূর্ণিঝড়ের ঘাট, সামলে মাঝি সামলে। আমার ভারতবর্ষে কোনো গেরুয়া রাজনীতিবিদ কিংবা ইমামের নির্দেশিকা নেই। এখানে কোনো সংহিতা হাদিস ছাড়াই কোজাগরি চাঁদের অকৃপণ আলো পড়ে ঈদগার উপর, আর রমজানি চাঁদ তুলসী মঞ্চের গায়ে পূর্ণ আলো দেয়। আমার ভারতবর্ষ মানে রবি ঠাকুরের মধ্যে নজরুল, রবি শঙ্কর আর আলী আকবরের যুগলবন্দি, গণেশ পাইন আর মকবুল ফিদার রঙিন ছবি। আমার ভারতবর্ষ মানে লালন ফকিরের গান। আমার ভারতবর্ষে আমি শুনেছি মোহাম্মদ রফির সঙ্গে লতার ডুয়েট, দেখেছি পাল্লা দিয়ে আজহারের সঙ্গে সচিনের দৌড়, খেলার মাঠের প্রান্তে দাঁড়িয়ে শুনেছি নঈমুদ্দিনের তদারকি চিৎকার। বিজয়ন, আকিল, কুলজিৎ, বাইচুং, মাঠটাকে আরো বড় করো। মাঠ দিন দিন ছোট হয়ে যাচ্ছে, মাঠটাকে আরো বড় করা দরকার, অনেক অনেক বড়। নমস্কার, ধন্যবাদ।
সমাদৃত, তোমাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ। Now we will hear English poetry from Ahi Roy. He is also from India.
I'll just share the screen for Ahi. Please tell me, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. I am Ahi Roy, and today I am here to recite before you the very famous number, Imagine by John Lennon.
John Winston Ono Lennon was an English singer, songwriter, musician, and peace activist who achieved worldwide fame as co-lead vocalist, co-songwriter, and rhythm guitarist of the Beatles, as well as one of the founders of the group. His songwriting partnership with Paul McCartney remains the most successful in history. Imagine is a song by English rock musician John Lennon from his 1971 album of the same name. The best-selling single of his solo career, the lyrics encourage listeners to imagine a world of peace, without materialism, without borders separating nations, and without religion. Imagine. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people leaving for today. Ah, imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. Thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you, Ahi. Now it's Egypt's turn. Shah Hagam and Noor Shaban Alabasi will recite their poem in Egyptian language. Please, you can start.
Okay. Do you want to start with the Egyptian language first? Okay, or the English language? We're gonna start with the English language first, okay? Okay, dear? Okay. Okay, we will start with Lobna, one of my distinguished students. Lobna, what are you going to tell us? Let's share the screen. Okay. Is it showing now? Okay, Lubna, please start. Hi. Start, please.
I will talk about friendship. I was angry with my friend. Told my race did end. I was angry with my food. I told it not. My race did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sodden it with smiles, with soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright, and my foe beheld it shine. He knew that it was mine. Thanks.
We have here Shuru. Thank you so much. We have here Shru. She's going to complete the poem. Okay, Shru, are you ready?
Okay. Love is like the wild rose briar. Friendship like the holy tree. The holy is dark when the rose briar blooms. But which will bloom most constantly? The wild rose briar is sweet in spring, and summer blossoms scent the air. Yet wait till winter comes again. And who will call the wild briar fair? The scorn is the silly rose dress now, and daisy with the holly sheen, that when December blights the brow, he still may leave the garland green. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you. Should I start with the Arabic, the native language, dear? Should I? Google? Adker? Should I? Should we start with the Arabic language poem? Okay, let's start. Here we have Shahd. Hello, Shahd. Hello. Are you going to recite an Arabic poem?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start.
يا بائع الصبر لا تشفق على الشاري فدرهم الصبر يسوى 1000 دينار لا شيء كالصبر يشفى جرح صاحبه ولا هوى مثله حانوت عطار هذا الذي تخمد الأحزان جرعته كبارد الماء يطفى حدة النار ويبقى القلب باق في سلامته حتى يبدل آثار بإيثار إن السلامة كنز كل خردلة منه تقوم من مال بقنطار والمال يدعى صديقا عند حاجته وقد يكون عدوا داخل الدار يا من حزنت لفقد المال إنك قد خلقت عارا وما بذاك من عار كما أتى أمت ذاك المال مكتسبا يأتي غدا من بديع اللطف جبار حوادث الدهر تجري في البلاد على مراتب الناس مقدار بمقدار. Thank you.
Thank you, Shahd. And we have the rest of the poem. It's divided between Shahd and Noor. Hello, my sweet dear friend.
Hello.
And the student. Hello, dear. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
إن الرياح تصيب النخل تقصفه وليس تقصف غصن الشيخ والغار إذا بقي منك أدنى فضلة صغرى فإنها قطعة من طور أطوار هب أنك الشمس في الأفلاك طالعة حتى تسم الشمس من كسف وأقدار والشمس في برجها شمس ولو كسفة فلا يحط عليها كسف أنوار للدهر يوم علينا لا يدوم كما يوم لنا لم يدم في حكمه الجاري لا يلبس الغصن عريانا بلا ثمر حتى تراه بأوراق وأسمار سيفتح الله بابا لا تعرفه ومنهجا غير ملحوظا بأبصار إذا قطعنا رجاء النفس من فرج فإننا قطعنا رحمة الباري. Thank you.
Thank you, Noor. That's the end of our Egyptian poem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Now the poem will be recited from Belarus. Tanya Mikhovic will recite the poem in her native language and also in English language. Tanya, you can start your poems.
Okay, I will start as a teacher. Hello, everyone. I'm Yulia, and I'm a teacher from Belarus. And unfortunately, Tatiana is not with us today because she is ill, but I invited two other students from my school, and they are going to recite the beautiful poems. Well, the first one will be the first poem will be a poem in English, and I want to invite my student Dima. Okay, Dima, introduce yourself and say what you're going to recite. What I want to say before Dima is that true poets are loved in all countries. You have already had a chance to listen to this poem's recitation. Nevertheless, we are going to recite it as well because this is one of personally my favorite poems. And Dima, well, you're welcome.
Hello, I'm Dima. I'm 13 and I'm from Belarus. And today I want to recite a poem by a popular English writer, Robert Burns. It is called My Heart in the Highlands. The theme of the poem is the love of Highlands. The poet idealistically recalls his love for the Highlands. It also shows a sense of gratitude, patriotism of the poem for his nation. He's adapted to the beautiful cultural tradition. My heart in the Highlands. My heart in the Highlands. My heart is not here. My heart in the Highlands, it chasing the deer. It chasing the wild deer and following the road. My heart in the Highlands, wherever I go. Farewell to the Highlands, farewell to the North, the birthplace of valor, the country of force. Wherever I wander, wherever I rove, the hills of the Highlands, forever I love. Farewell to the mountains I cover with snow, farewell to the stress and green valleys below. Farewell to the forest and wild hanging woods, farewell to the torrents and loud foaming floods. My heart in the Highlands, my heart is not here. My heart in the Highlands, it's chasing the deer. It's chasing the wild deer and following the road. My heart in the Highlands, wherever I go.
Thank you very much, Dima. And we move on. The second speaker will be student Dasha. And I'm grateful to student Dasha because today is her birthday, but she agreed to be with us and to recite a poem by a famous Belarusian poet. And I want to say that Dasha learns German in our school, but she knows English a little bit. And I will help her if she has some problems with the introduction. So Dash, happy birthday to you, first of all, and let's start.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
My poem is Kalilaska by Petrus Broka. And 1 minute. In this poem, the author expresses his sensual love to his mother tongue. He is proud of his language and feels very happy when he hears this language. He points out the importance of the word welcome for our people, underlining that the Belarusian people are very hospitable and friendly. У любимой мове, родной наской, ах, якія слови, калі ласка, як звінять яны сердечною струною, праз усё жыццё ідуць са мною. Трапіць госць у будзень, а ці ў свята, калі ласка ў хату. Не паспелі сесці пра сустрэчы, як патэльня засквярчала ў печы. Бульба, смажаніна і каўбаска, пакаштуйце, людзі, калі ласка. Хлопец кажа дарагой дзяўчыне, калі ласка, будзеш гаспадыняй. Эх, усё жыццё збудуем мы прыгожа, усе з табой нягоды пераможам. Гром грыміць, з нябёсамі размова. Калі ласка, цёплы дождж вясновы. І не вельмі буйны і нерэдкі, на сады, на пушчы, на палеткі, на грыбы, на ягады, на кветкі. Калі ласка, наш звярок бясконцы. Мы гаворым ранішняму сонцу. Калі ласка, сонца, выйдзе з хмары, радасцю аблашчы нашы твары. Ты ўзнімі з сабою нашы мары. Калі ласка, нашай роднай мовы, шчырае і ветлівае слово.
Thank you very much, Dasha. I want to add that Kalilaska in English means welcome or thank you. It has two meanings. That is all from the team of Belarus. Thank you for your attention.
Happy birthday, Dasha. Now we will hear poetry recitation from Italy. First, Gabriele will recite poem in native language.
Thank you.
Gabriele, are you here? Gabriele.
Yeah, just a minute. Iron Man, are you here? Iron Man from Italy, are you here, please? Maybe man, maybe absent. Iron Man, are you here? Three minutes. Then we can start the next. And man will be our. We can start again. Okay.
Okay. At this stage, Sophia will recite poem in English.
Maybe Iron Man and all our students absent.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, we have
next.
students. Okay. Finally, we have students from Poland. Let's listen to poem in Polish language. Julia Kisiliuskaken, you can start your poem.
Yes, I will start with a short introduction of my students, if you don't mind. So if I could just share the screen with you, that would be brilliant. Give me a moment. Yeah. So we are here from Poland, Europe. Give me a moment. I've got some technical problems that usually sometimes happens. I don't know why I can't. Oh yes, I can. So yes, we are from Poland, from Bydgoszcz, a beautiful city on the Brda River. We invite everyone to visit us one day. Today, I'm lucky to have brought with me two brilliant students of the third high school of Adam Mickiewicz in Bydgoszcz, Poland. This is the school building in the background and our school logo. And we are extremely happy to have this chance to appreciate the melody of various languages, listening to poetry recitation. Thank you so much for having us in the session. So I will stop sharing right now. And I will invite Julka Kisielewska to present the poem by Wisława Szymborska, a very famous Polish poet. Julka, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julia, and I'm in the second grade of high school in Bydgoszcz. And today, I would like to introduce to you a famous Polish author. She's name is Wisława Szymborska. Let me share the screen with you. Okay, so Wisława was born in 1923 And the most important facts about her are that she is the winner of the Nobel Prize that she got in 1996. She lived in Krakow, which is a Polish city, was a poet, journalist, and author, studied literature and sociology on a university, but unfortunately she wasn't able to graduate. And she died on 2012, so she isn't with us anymore. But she left many beautiful poems that we can enjoy still. And I would like to read for you one of them. This is the most recognized one, I guess. It's about the time we are given in our lives and also about relationship between people. Nic dwa razy. Nic dwa razy się nie zdarza i nie zdarzy. Z tej przyczyny zrodziliśmy się bez wprawy i pomrzemy bez rutyny. Choćbyśmy uczniami byli najtępszymi w szkole świata, nie będziemy repetować żadnej zimy ani lata. Żaden dzień się nie powtórzy, nie ma dwóch podobnych nocy, dwóch tych samych pocałunków, dwóch jednakich spojrzeń w oczy. Wczoraj, kiedy twoje imię ktoś wymówił przy mnie głośno, tak mi było, jakby róża przez otwarte wpadła okno. Dziś, kiedy jesteśmy razem, odwróciłam twarz ku ścianie. Róża? Jak wygląda róża? Czy to kwiat, a może kamień? Czemu ty się, zła godzino, z niepotrzebnym mieszasz lękiem? Jesteś, a więc musisz minąć. Miniesz, a więc to jest piękne. Uśmiechnięci, współobjęci, spróbujemy szukać zgody, choć różnimy się od siebie, jak dwie krople czystej wody. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Julka. And now Niemska-Plińska's turn, and I will share the screen for her. So give me a minute. I hope you can see my screen with Walt Whitman. Yes, okay, thank you.
Yes.
So, yes, the time for your introduction.
So, hi, I'm Niems. I am the student of Paulina Kazimierczak-Majdińska, and I believe Walt Whitman should be introduced more to young students all around the world because, well, he's as good as Dante, as Shakespeare and Virgil, and in the same rank as Homer that has been brought in the beginning of our event, right? So I think, the next, yes. So who is he? Why do I think he is important? Well, he was born on Jesus. He was born on May 31st of 1819, and Walt Whitman was an American poet. He was also an essayist and a journalist. A humanist, he was a part of the transition between transcendentalism and realism, right? Whitman is among the most influential poets in the American canon, often called the father of free verse, that has been acknowledged at the beginning again. His work was controversial in its time, particularly his poetry collection Leaves of Grass, which was described as obscene for its overt sensuality. Whitman's own life came under scrutiny for his presumed homosexuality. About the poem I'll be reading to you all today, well, he published Beat Beat Drums in 1961, shortly after the first major battle of the Civil War. The poem directly addresses the instruments of a military band, telling drums and bugle horns to raise the alarm of war. These instruments, the speaker says, should tear through society like a ruthless force, making it impossible for everyday life to continue like like a call to oars and a rallying cry. I'm sorry. But because the speaker acknowledges the devastating toll that violent conflict takes nature of war, ultimately demonstrating that everything grinds to a hate the face of such catastrophic violence. And now I am about to say that I'm very thankful for your time, and I am about to read to all of you the poem by Walt Whitman, Beat, Beat Drums. Beat, beat drums, blow, bugles, blow. Through the windows, through doors, burst like a ruthless force. Into the solemn church and scatter the congregation. Into the school where the scholar is studying. Leave not the bridegroom quiet. No happiness must he have now with his bride, nor the peaceful farmer any peace, plodding his field or gathering his grain. So fierce you whir and pound your drums, so shrilly bugles blow. Beat, beat drums, blow, bugles, blow. Over the traffic of cities, over the rumble of wheels in the streets, our beds prepared for sleepers at night in the houses. No sleepers must sleep in those beds. No bargain is a bargain by day, no brokes or speculators. Will they continue? Will the talkers be talking? Will the singer attempt to sing? Will the lawyer rise in the court to state his case before the judge? Then rattle quicker, heavier drums, you bugles, wilder blow. Beat, beat drums, blow, bugles, blow. Make no parley, stop for no expostulation, mind not the timid, mind not the weeper or prayer, mind not the old man beseeching the young man, let not the child's voice be heard, nor the mother's entreaties. Make even the trestles to shake the dead where they lie awaiting the hearses. So strong you thump, O terrible drums, so loud you bugles blow. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Nemst.
Good, Natalia. Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. It truly was a Sunday well spent. The event helped us make new friends, listen to some amazing poetry, and learn to appreciate the rhyme, rhythm, and emotions in the poem. It even taught us that no matter which country we are from or whichever language we may speak, poetry is universal. Even if you don't know the language, you can enjoy and appreciate the words, the rhythm, and the imagery.
Hope you all enjoyed the event, and we like to wish a special thanks to our keynote speaker, Ms. Coco Manetta, for taking her time for a busy schedule. Also to the educators who conceptualized such an event, and to the students who participating in it. Before we end the session, we would like to call Mr. Atikur Rahman to give a word of thanks.
Thank you. And now I join Irene from her name, just to join. She is from Italy, and then please the response. Irene name, please. Can you hear?
Yes.
Irene name?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Just
I
to
would
join,
like to.
just to join.
Yes. There are two of my students, is Giuseppe and Sophia. Sophia, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Can you join? Can you share your screen? Condividi lo schermo? Yes. Thank you very much. Sofia, you can go on. Vai,
Okay.
bravo.
Hello everyone, my name is Sofia. I'm 14 years old and I attend the secondary school at Torre Majorana in a town in Sicily, Italy. I am very happy to participate in this conference representing Italy together with my classmate Gabriele and Mrs. Convalone. To begin, I will present this PowerPoint which talk about the American writer Bernadette Meyer.
Sofia, yes, can you read the poem, please? Leggi la poesia.
First the poem.
Yes, please.
Okay, wait. Okay.
Yes.
There are maple trees. 1, 2, 3. But wait, there is 5 more. 2 behind the bungalow and lots in the poetry state forest. I hear target practice from far away. It's probably for shooting deer, bears, and dinosaurs. But how will we, still alive, socialize in the winter? Wrapped in beaver skins, we'll sit around pot-bellied stoves eating. The lobbies of fear left over from desperation. Let summer's woodland sunflowers be born, remind us of black cherry eaten in a hurry, while the yard grows in the moonlight, shrinking like a salary or damaged item, when we return in the morning for our breakfast or harvest petunia sprinkles with wild marshmallow. The lobbies of fear is an image of the desperation that people feel or felt about COVID. There is so much beauty in the names of growing things, like lobelias, like marshmallow, and that's what we do. We try to eat them or ingest them. Now we'll return to show the PowerPoint.
Yes. Atik, can we go on?
Yes, have you another student, ma'am? One student?
Yes. Oh, Sophia, thank you very much. Now it's the turn of Giuseppe, please. Giuseppe. Okay. Just read the presentation, please. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, I'm Giuseppe Scroppo, I'm 13 years old and I attend the 9th grade of secondary high school. The title of the poem is Il trionfo di Bacco e Arianna and the writer is Ludovico Ariosto. The poem speaks about a couple, Bacco and Arianna, who lives every single moment of their life and they don't think about what could happen tomorrow. The text is a celebration of youth and of the pleasures of life, like an invitation to enjoy the youth. The character become a hymn to love. Love is represented from Bacco and Arianna, but also from the satyrs, who captures nymphs who are happy of this. The hymn to joy of life doesn't work for the King Mida. He is unhappy because he transforms all made of gold and his greed was punished with Bacchus' gift. The poem's prospect is positive and optimistic, but there is some sadness about the future.
Perfect. Giuseppe, you can read now. Just two rhymes, okay? Okay.
Ok. Quanta bella giovinezza che si fugge tuttavia. Chi vuole essere lieto sia, di domani non c'è certezza. Questa è Bacco e Rihanna, belli e l'un dell'altro ardenti, perché il tempo fugge e inganna, sempre insieme stan contenti. Queste ninfe ed altre genti sono allegri tuttavia. Chi vuole essere lieto sia, di domani non c'è certezza. Questi lieti satiretti delle ninfe innamorati, per caverne e per boschetti han lor posto 100 agguati. Or da bacco riscaldati, ballon, salton tuttavia. Chi vuole essere lieto sia, di domani non c'è certezza. Queste ninfe anche hanno caro da loro essere ingannate. Non può fare amor riparo, se non gente rozze e ingrate. Ora, insieme mescolate, suonano, canton tuttavia. Chi vuole essere lieto sia, di domani non c'è certezza. Questa soma che vien dietro, sopra l'asino è sileno, così vecchio, ebbro e lieto, già di carne e d'anni pieno. Se non può star ritto, almeno ride e godi tuttavia. Chi vuole essere lieto sia, di domani non c'è certezza. Mida vien dietro a costoro, ciò che tocca oro diventa. E che giova per tesoro, s'altri poi non si contenta? Che dolcezza vuoi che senta, chi ha sete tuttavia? Chi vuole essere lieto sia, di domani non c'è certezza. Ciascun apra ben gli orecchi, di domani nessun si paschi. Oggi siamo, giovani e vecchi, lieti ognuno, femmine e maschi. Ogni tristo pensier caschi, facciam festa tuttavia. Chi vuole essere lieto sia, di domani non c'è certezza. Donne e giovinetti amanti, viva Bacco e viva amore, ciascun suoni, balli e canti. Arda di dolcezza il core, non fatica, non dolore, ciò che esser convien sia. Chi vuole essere lieto sia, non c'è certezza.
Thank you very much. I think we finished. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Really, I am overwhelmed to be able to stay in this wonderful event. The students recite the poems in their native language, also English, very nicely. I would like to thank all who participated in this wonderful event today, especially the students who were the main instrument of us, I think. I also like to give congratulate to the esteemed teachers with the participant of all of us. Today's events has been really worthwhile. I am very happy to attend this session, and I also give thanks all of educators because we all educators paid our work to arrange the session successful, and everyone helps. In this session, no one can give credits. We all arrange this session, and I am very happy because this session is successful. And now I want to request Carmela Ma'am. She is the principal of Irene Ma'am Schools. Ma'am just joined this session. So I earnestly just request Carmela Ma'am to tell us something about our session. Though at the last point, Ma'am just joined. Yeah, Ma'am. Carmela Ma'am, are you there? Please respond.
I'm very happy. My headmistress is here with us.
Yeah, I didn't know. Just the response as your principal man. If you want to say something about this session. Otherwise, we give the floor now to the educators with short time. Also students, they can express their emotional experience of this session. And I want to hand over now Nirmala ma'am to handle the students' expression about this session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Atikur Rahman, for organizing this incredible, wonderful session where you managed to gather 11 countries, educators and students for almost 2 hours. We are collaborating. Thank you so much, Mr. Atikur Rahman, for these wonderful arrangements with all the educators and students. And it is a great session that we get to hear not only English language poems, but also from the native language. Many languages, 11 languages we managed to hear today. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And any students would like to say something before we hand over to the educators to say a few words? Kamlesh.
Yeah, excuse me, Nirmala ma'am. Just I want to request Kamala ma'am to tell us something.
Hello.
Just okay, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. I'm very glad and honored for this wonderful occasion, cultural occasion of meeting, transnational meeting. It's a really wonderful thing to have all these people reaching for listening to the poetry of one country, and really, I appreciate. We need poetry. We need beauty. So we can share all the experiences. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you very much.
Atikur, can I have a say?
Yes.
Can I have a word?
Yeah, wait, I'm trying to spotlight you.
So thank you for the beautiful event. It was very amazing to listen to poems, to known and unknown, to classical and native poetry, and the words by Nirmala ma'am that we have listened to 11 languages today. Sprang up an idea in my head, because in February we celebrate, Bangladesh celebrates its special day, and we celebrate Mother Tongue, International Mother Tongue Day, right? And we on this day, I guess it is the 22nd of February, excuse me, we can have another session of poetry recital, maybe only in Mother Tongue on this day, just to celebrate Mother Tongue. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. We are that nation who sacrifices our lives to protect our mother language. Really, it's extraordinary activities, I think. In the world, there is no nation who fight for mother language. So we are very lucky, I think. And really, ma'am, we shall try to arrange it on 21 February. Every poem will be native language. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Atik, excuse me.
Yes.
Can we have the recorder, please? The registration. Can we have the recorded section, please?
Yes, ma'am. After receiving the recording option, I shall email all educators. I think.
Yeah.
Problem. I shall send to all by email.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, teacher, for you, you can say something.
Okay, thank you, Atika, Namrata. Yours such much effort in the background, and we study very hard for students. Some students have stomachs, some have headaches, but they try their best in order to join this such wonderful and honorable sessions. And I also said that their English is not really very good, but they still want to join. That's such beautiful session and wonderful encourage students to enjoy every country beautiful mother tongue. You encourage to study all over the world, especially they enjoyed the very beautiful English poems, and they will listen to your shared every country's points, and they will ask me, teacher, who is he? I think it is the beautiful session, and really thank you, our Bangalore teacher, Etika, your encouragement, and always encourage every educator to join. Thank you so much. And thank you every country's educators. We have a beautiful and a wonderful night for our students, and in advance, they will keep going and keep appreciate you because of your sharing. They started to love poetry. They started to study English and the other countries' poem. Thank you so much. And you are the greatest educator in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Encouraging words from Mrs. Nadia and so teacher for you. Over to you, Swati ma'am.
Can I say a few words?
Yes, somebody wanted to say thank you so much.
Hello. Yes, it's me. I am Ludmila. I'm an EFL teacher from Ukraine, and I was just a listener today because we have a summer break and my students couldn't participate. But I am absolutely amazed with this great session. And sorry, something is wrong with my camera. I am absolutely amazed with the variety of topics your students were speaking today, the variety of languages presented here. And I want to say thank you. You are great educators. Your students are gorgeous. And it is a very valuable idea that we had such a recitation. I hope that this will continue, this idea and this project will continue, and we will participate in it. Maybe we will vary the topics. Maybe we will vary some ideas, but I think that participating in it is gorgeous. Thank you, Atiku.
Thank you so much. And really, this session, just Ohaya ma'am, that is Ida ma'am from Egypt, she just told me, sir, can we arrange another poetry session? I just agree by her room. So I also give thanks to Alabasi ma'am from Egypt.
Okay, Swati ma'am, would you like to say something? Then can be followed by Huaida ma'am, Paulina ma'am, Min, teacher Min, teacher Irene. Yes, go ahead.
I'm too overwhelmed, and I guess all educators have already said whatever I wanted to say. I guess we all want to say the same thing. We are so happy. We are so proud of our students, and we are so grateful to Atikur sir and every one of the organizers for this wonderful platform. And the day is not far away when all the countries of the world are going to join us. This club is going to grow bigger and bigger. And the self-written poem was also beautiful. I would want to hear the translation someday from you, Shun Lei, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Yeah,
so many languages we didn't understand, but could feel the expressions, emotions. And I'm just waiting to, understand, at least from the translations. Thank you so much. I feel I'm so enriched today, invigorated, rejuvenated. I don't know what else to say after hearing so many great poets. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for having me here. Thank you, Nirmala ma'am. I guess over to the others now. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Welcome, Swati ma'am. Okay, maybe teacher Paulina.
It is a great pleasure to be here because this meeting has brought together generations, and what we have experienced is something unique because we not only have shared this moment of our lives together, but also we had this chance to see that some poems really unite generations. There is no generation gap between us when we are listening and experiencing these emotions, even without understanding the mother tongue. It has been already said, but the emotions, they are not disguised. We feel them without any translators. We don't need that. So I'm really grateful. I'm really happy that students from different countries, from all corners of the world, have decided to share this moment with us. That helps us to stay young at heart, and it raises the spirits all over the world. This is this spark that has been sent. I'm really happy.
Thank you, teacher Paulina, for the wonderful, encouraging words for all our students. Hueda, ma'am, your turn.
Yeah, actually, I was so excited to be one among such wonderful educators today, because most of you I know because we have more program before together. So today I was super excited, and I'm happy that my students were encouraged to participate in such international poetry competition. The thing that I want to say that the feelings has no barrier today, whatever the language. It's like music. Everybody here can hear and listen to the poem and can feel the emotions. So this gathering today is super, super wonderful, and I wish that we can gather again and again and again. You know, my students are super happy, especially they are having classes today, so they went away, but they are super happy and super excited. And I wish this will come again and again and again. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Made our day. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am, for the energetic, inviting information for us. Definitely, we will be collaborating again, like what Nadia ma'am has suggested, most probably in February. Yeah, Sir Atikur Rahman, you need to make arrangements for us. Okay, over to you, over to you, Teacher Min Min.
Hello. It is a great section, and all educators, and happy to meet you all. And all poems I may not understand clearly, but I can touch my heart and, you know, maybe peaceful in my mind. Thank you all, educators and students. And I hope next session will be, you know, all together, and we will translate. Translation by English or, you know, something I like to understand all. Thank you all.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's a good idea, I think. After natural language, they can just watch English translation. This translate. I think it will be good for us to understand.
Yeah, Irene.
Yeah.
What do you, teacher?
Yes. Yes, I would like to thank a lot Atik, because this was an excellent section, and we are teachers from all over the world, and the feeling is very strong, and I think sharing is caring, and in this way we can collaborate and cooperate for years and years, and we discover new things. And I would like to say that my students were very, very worried because they were scared to fail, but in this way they try their best, and they try to share the motivation and the feelings that they have got inside. And this is very important. And they are very young students, but they succeed. Thank you very much for this wonderful section again.
Well, thank you very much, Teacher Irene, for the encouragement for initiating another project for us. Did we miss out any educators to say something? Any educators we missed out? Teacher Camelia, you would like to say something again? Teacher Carmela. Yes.
Madam Nirmal,
yes, sure.
I wish that you can share the recording on the Poetry Messengers group, okay?
Sure, definitely, teacher. Right away, I get my daughter to download it and share the link to Teacher Rahman, so he will be able to, share with us. So before we end, we would like to call Teacher Rahman to say final words, and also I would like to thank Tasnia and Dashini for moderating the session. Applause. Tasnia and Dashini, well done.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Just a minute, ma'am, and I want to next time hand over the certificate.
Sure.
Among the student, no problem. By the remainder of the and now, ma'am, you can give floor to our dear students. Just express their emotion about this session.
Students, you have anything to say? Did you enjoy the session? Did you learn something? We have few students left. I think most of them, they have left the session. We have, okay, Tasnia. What do you feel, Tasnia? Over to you, Tasnia.
I feel very happy.
You have done a great job, Tasnia, today.
Thanks.
Okay, Tasnia is feeling happy. What about you, Dashini?
Happy also.
Happy also.
Yes.
Any other students? Students, don't be shy.
Okay, so I will go. Yeah.
Yes.
Firstly, I would like to thank to the organizer of today's event and my teacher Min Pei, our beloved teacher May, who gave me the opportunity to join this beautiful event. And I also get my talent to write poems. So yeah, and then I hope the educators and the students will be enjoying my originally poem today. So it's a really beautiful event. So it's a really honor to be here. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yunli, for that feedback. What about Kamlesh? Do you have anything to say about today's session? This is your first time attending this session?
No, teacher.
Zay, did you learn something? Are you happy with the session? He's nervous. Chris, do you have anything to say? Did you enjoy the session, Chris? Probably next time you can be you can recite the poem. Chris, enjoy something. The moment we call them, they are nervous. Okay, Sir Rahman, do you have anything to say before we end the session?
Ma'am, just I want to say, my dear honorable educators, they work hard to successful this session. And I want to say it in that our Nadesh Daman just tell us about Level Day. We can try to arrange another wonderful mother language session. I think it will be more interesting. And I am just planning it from now, how we can successfully. And really, it will be a milestone, I think, because every educator know that many countries of the world celebrate International Mother Language Day. Just our Mother Language Day, 21 February, the UNESCO declared this day now International Mother Language Day. So we are special, I think, because our Mother Language Day is now celebrated all of the world. So we are happy, and I want to tell every educators about the mother language history of our country. That time, how we can protect our mother language. Thank you so much, and I want this group, we can continue our next session on 21 February, and I especially thanks all of educators. Really, all are very kind and helpful. So I give thanks all of you. I think it's our session, and we are very happy. And at last, I give thanks. God help us and protect us from COVID-19. We shall try to pray to God for our freedom so that we can keep healthy and safety. Thank you.
We need a group photograph.
Okay, just request all educators and students just open the video again. Okay, Tasnia.
Taken the photo. Thank you so much for attending the session.
Tasnia, just request